You have to understand focusing on database is a crock pot of success. It's not a microwave of success. And when you're building these modules and building these steps in 2024, you're planning for 2025. In 2025, you're planning for 2027. And that's how you build a $100 million mortgage team, $200 million mortgage team, and so on from there, because you've got the compound effect. Hey guys, Wally Olivieri. All right, so what is 24/7 mindset? Most times when you hear 24/7, you're thinking what? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just grinding, hustling. I learned over time, a 24-year career in mortgage and multiple other businesses that I own is, unfortunately, you'll get burnt out. I became an absent father, I became an absent husband, and I became a poor business leader because I was trying to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to build a business, maintain a business. When I learned how to work smarter, not just harder, by doing things the best way it could be done, instead of just simply doing my best, I learned how to work only 24 hours a week, 7 months a year, while I got paid from the business residually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can do the same. Welcome to the show. Super excited about today. I got a chance to meet Walt. I feel like I got closer to Walt at the Modern Mortgage Summit about a year ago and got a chance actually to have a conversation with him. I've seen him on social a ton. He's one of the top producers nationwide, but the dude is like super sincere, super down to earth, and I really enjoy the authenticity of the conversation. And you meet two guys that are professionals in the space. You almost feel like it's a measuring contest. And what I enjoyed about Walt, it just felt like another guy. It felt like a buddy. So I appreciate that, Walt. I just want to make sure everybody knew that I shared that with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember meeting you years ago, actually at Mastery, and being like, man, I mean, Wally's up on the stage, he's killing it, and that, and then again at Modern Mortgage Summit, that was a cool event. That was a way cool event that Todd and Dave did, and and just being able to sit there with everybody and get to know one another. And then the next day we had that the mastermind. Again, getting really, spending 3-4 hours, whatever it was. Yeah, it was way cool. It was a really cool event.
Absolutely. There's another one coming up, or did it already pass?
No, it's coming up. It's like the 28th of this month. So
okay. Are you going out there or no?
I'm going to do it virtual this year.
Yeah, same here.
And I think, this year I'll do it virtual because I've got two different teams that I'm working with now, real estate teams that I want to have, at the event. So last year I didn't.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. Who's your favorite speaker last year? Do you remember?
Well, this guy, Wally.
No,
it was there were so many great speakers.
Yeah.
So many great speakers. I got stuff out of Jason, realtor. Out of Spring Benson. Spring Story is absolutely incredible. It was really funny because, oh crap, I'm totally misplaced his name, Dan. Dan up in Washington. He was like, dude, I need to role play. Can you come up and role play with me?
Right. That's right.
So I was actually on stage for a little bit. I made my cameo appearance. But yeah, and one thing I'll talk about today a little bit is Kelly, what's her last name?
Kelly Zitto?
Kelly Zitlow, yeah.
Yeah.
Her presentation. So yeah, so everybody just did such of a great job. And I love just the little short segments that everybody does. 20 minutes or so, and they just hit it out of the park. So
I thought Shayla's was this.
Oh yeah.
Probably one of the best speeches I've ever experienced, to the point where, here I am talking about, you build a business, you work 24 hours a week, 7 months a year. Then you're hearing Shayla talk about, like, everybody's broke, the ship's going under, you got to work your tail off, you got to kick it old school. And I'm like, I got to redo my speech because I'm going to be following that. And then Sean Kaplan. Oh my God. One of the coolest humans I've ever met in my life. I'm like, bromance boy crush. He's just an amazing guy, a great man of God. I just love, I love seeing people super crush it in the space, but you can have a conversation with them like they're your old high school buddy.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, so when I went to the event, my whole intent last year was to transition my mortgage practice from working with realtors to working with financial advisors, with affinity partners, with
Yeah.
financial advisors, CPAs, and attorneys, and really to stop working with realtors, not completely, because we'll always work with realtors, right?
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. So at that mastermind the next day, as we sat there, was it in the Cosmopolitan?
Yeah.
You were at the table next to us. I don't remember who all was at your table, but I had Amir that was at my table, and I had Denise, and of course Deborah. So Denise Donahue, and then Deborah Bird, and Shayla. Now, Denise does all of my social media, and so Deborah does all my social media, and she knows the path that I'm heading, everything else. And so as we're sitting there talking, one thing that was very interesting was I started to talk about, well, yeah, I really don't want to do business with realtors right now, and I really want to sway away from that. And I remember Amir challenged me, and immediately Shayla challenged me as well on that. And I was like, wait, no, that's what I want to do. And I kind of dug my feet in. And then as I was away from the event, then I started to realize, no, I mean, at the end of the day, what I really want more than anything is to do business with people that I know, like, and trust. That's it. Doesn't matter if they're a realtor, if they're a financial planner, attorney, whatever. That's who I really want to do business with. And so this year, at the end of last year, and then in this year, I've been able to really transition my business and to working with, I work with some really good agents now, really good agents. I did a CMA Day challenge last year with a bunch of agents, and that went over well, adding value there. But that event really changed my practice. And then now my practice is changing, morphing a little bit more. And we can talk more about that as we go forward.
So I thought what you did with the CMA challenge, I thought that was brilliant. Elaborate a little bit about that for who does not know what a CMA challenge was, and how did that help you?
Thank you. So this is something that during COVID, Todd Bookspan and Dave Savage brought up. And once it was 2000, might have been 2001 in there somewhere, but the idea is following something that Jimmy Burgess, who's a realtor out of Florida, had done, and he'd done it really successful. And his goal was to do a CMA a day. He's, again, a realtor, so a CMA a day, competitive market analysis for one of his houses, and it would be an unsolicited CMA a day for 90 days. He did 72 CMAs, didn't quite make the whole 90, but did 72. Out of that 72, he listed over $9 million worth of property, sold $5.5 million, didn't market again to the other people that hadn't contacted him to list. And over the next 6 months, he ended up having another around $3 or $4 million worth of properties that he listed and then sold. So what I ended up doing was I decided last year, and I'd done this locally based upon the challenge that Todd and Dave gave us back in 2020, sorry. But I decided to do it on a national level. And so I pulled in some of my friends throughout the nation. We had 10, 12 loan officers involved. We had over 200 realtors involved. And what we ended up doing was I went to some of the people that I met there at the Modern Mortgage, Modern Real Estate Summit. So I went to Jason, and I went to Spring Benson, and I asked them to speak. So every week we had a speaker. And because I've ran in those circles with a lot of the people, a lot of the speakers. Rene Rodriguez, he agreed to speak for us. Todd Duncan spoke for me. We had, Todd Bookspan spoke, and we had awesome speakers. So every week, every Monday at I don't remember, 8:30, I think it was, we would have a speaker speak for 30 minutes, and then we would talk about the challenge. How's the challenge going for you? And we would get 100 people on the call or so, 150 people on the call. And we started going through that. And, I kicked it off with Jimmy Burgess first. Jimmy agreed to speak for us and kick off the event for us. And so he walked through his ideas of how he did the unsolicited CMA. And then he walked through, some other ideas to be able to increase business as well through social media and different things. So each speaker brought massive, massive value. And we did that for a 90-day period. And so we had speakers over the 12-week period that spoke for us. I mean, Deborah Bird spoke on social media. So just, again, if you had gone to this event in Vegas, it would have cost $2,000-$3,000 just to walk in the door and sit for a day or 2 days. And these speakers, they all just were such of a blessing, and they're all friends, and I'm grateful to be able to call them friends and people that I've associated with for the last several years. And so they all poured out and poured into me, which then I was able to pour into these agents and help agents. And so last count that I had, and we stopped running the count about 60 days after the event, the last count that I had was that we'd created over, well, I don't remember the count for listings, but it was over $1 million worth of commissions that the realtors had created.
I think what's spectacular about that is you thought outside the box. You saw someone that had a model that consistently that worked well. You didn't try to go reinvent the wheel. You went and reduplicated it, and you implemented it and got the fruits of that labor.
Yep.
So, which is absolutely awesome. So let's transcend a little bit. So 2 years ago, you never want to communicate with another realtor. You want to run away from any realtors, to the point you're doing CMA coaching and leading for realtors. Now, you made the mindset shift that you've got to work with the right realtors, and they've got to see you in the light of you truly adding value, so they see you as being valuable, which transcends from you being a vendor to actual partner relationship, right? So talk to me a little bit about, we've gotten together, you and I've talked about the 6-lane highway. We've talked about and for those of you that don't know what the 6-lane highway is, most loan officers go to a realtor, grovel for a loan, come back and ask for another loan. 6-lane highways is you've got your realtors, you've got your database that you learn how to turn into a data bank. And that's what Walt's about to share with us here in a second. But then you're getting business and referring business to and receiving referrals from CPAs, financial advisors, family will attorneys, and insurance agents. So now you focus on the client concierge system, which is the post-closing process. What turned you on to wanting to purchase the system in the beginning, and how has it kind of lived up to your expectations?
Yeah, so great. So I'll talk about the system first, and then I'll give you a little backstory, and then where I am now. So for quite some time, I would see you being interviewed by Dave, mortgage coach on the deal there. And so, and Dave's a good friend, and I'm like, hey, what's Wally doing? I mean, how is he connecting with? Can you get like his letters or something? Can you get? I mean, seriously. And I'm talking to like everybody that I can, because I don't know you. I didn't know you at the time. And I'm just like, what? I mean, what's he doing? And nobody really knew. I mean, everybody knew the main concept, but nobody really knew. And I was struggling. I mean, last year we finally, for our mortgage efficiency checkups, we finally said, okay, we're going to send a postcard 45 days before the annual review. We're going to call 30 days before. We're going to email, and we're going to call again. And it was very tough to get mortgage efficiency checkups. It was, to get annual mortgage reviews. It was really, nobody wanted to meet, which then made me feel really bad, because I'm promising, hey, we're going to do annual mortgage reviews for you every year. And now I feel like a fraud because I'm not doing it. So I had to get past that in the system that we created. We just decided, okay, we're going to do this. And then if people choose not to meet, then that's fine. Not that big of a deal. The difficulty that I have had over the years has been connecting up the annual mortgage review to the circle of cash flow that Todd Duncan teaches. And that is working with affinity partners and creating the circle of cash flow around a client. And then you have your insurance agent, your financial planner, your attorney, and your CPA. So I've had difficulty with connecting that. I remember 2018. I remember I met with and I did events for over 200 realtors. And I taught them the circle of cash flow. And everybody was like, this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then I said, great, here's how you get it going. And I explained it to the agents. And I only had one agent that was truly honest with me. And he said, Walt, I'm not going to do it. I said, why not? And he said, and he even said, this is brilliant. But he said, it's going to be too much work. And I just don't want to do it. And I was like, okay, fine. Finally, somebody was honest with me. But I would talk to agents about it and we would be like, yeah, let's do this. This is great. And then nothing ever happens. What I loved about the system is that it connected the dots for me. It connected which we'd already been doing a 7-day call after closing. We already did a 30-day call after closing. And then we were doing sporadically a 90-day call after closing, but we didn't know what to say at that 90-day call. It was very awkward. And then we would do the 6-month call. No, we wouldn't do a 6-month call. We brought that in once I had the system. We weren't doing a 6-month call, and we would go right to the 360 call, the annual, and we would always call it an annual asset review. Mm-hmm. And so I loved the terminology that you had, mortgage efficiency checkup. Mm-hmm. And then also the fact that you had connected everything. The system gave me the scripts, so I didn't have to rethink it because you'd already mastered it. It's just like the CMA Day challenge. I was already doing something that I already knew how to do. I'd done 3 of them before, and I'd already worked out all the systems through that. So for me to be able to do one nationally was very simple. Well, not very simple, but it was relatively easy. But for me to be able to follow the systems that you put in place was very, very simple. So what was cool about that was and actually I believe it was through the CMA Day challenge, because through the CMA Day challenge, I reached out to the #1 agent in Oregon, and she spoke at each one of my CMA Day challenges. And the one that I did, the national one, literally I called her at 8:05, 8:10 in the morning. And I said, hey, and she answered the phone immediately. Hey, Walt, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. and then I said, hey, I'm thinking about, and she just said, yes. She just answered with yes. I didn't even get it out. She already knew what I was calling about because that's what I had called about for the last 2 years, 3 years. But we gained a relationship through that. Yeah. She saw that I was adding value to agents in a whole different way. And so finally, I ended up getting up the courage in September of last year to say, why aren't we working together? Just period. I mean, your team is awesome. #1 in Oregon. My team is great. Really rocks. We know so many of the same people. We know, and I'm like, why aren't we working together? And she said, no, we need to start working together. And so she connected me up into her database, into her Sync database. And she's got 68,000 people in her Sync database between leads that are sellers and then her past clients. And she does an awesome job with her past clients. I mean, the team does 50 some odd events every single year. They're all over town. And then I started bringing forth to her the process of mortgage reviews and how valued that can be. And what if we started doing this? And she absolutely loved it. And so she's given me complete access to her database, open it up completely to be able to call leads, to be able to call sellers of properties that have houses that are not her clients, to do mortgage efficiency checkups. There's only 24,000 of those people in her database. And then, she's got 3,000 past clients. And so we're starting that. And then that gave me the confidence then to go to the #1 team in my city, not in the state, but in my city. And it's somebody that I have had high regards for, high respect for. We've worked a little bit kind of with each other over the years. Ironically enough, when COVID hit, I had both agents actually, we did a Zoom together, and we reached out to agents talking about how you do business during COVID and everything. So we all know each other. And so I just reached out to her, and I was like, hey, why aren't we working together? Let's start working together. We tried to create all these grandiose ideas and plans on, how we're going to do business and everything else. And I was like, hey, I want to get together with you guys, and I want to talk about a way that I think that I can double your business this year. Would you be game? And we sat down last Friday, and then she was like, well, dude, I love it, and I want to do this. And so, and she said, this is exactly what our team needs. And so they are in the process of opening up their database to us. It's a little smaller than the 68,000 database. I mean, that's for the number one team in Oregon. They closed 330 transactions last year. The number one agent in our marketplace, she only has 50,000 people in her database. So, so this is becoming fun. I mean, for me, it's becoming fun, and bringing, igniting that funness back into the business where I could legitimately see myself doing what Todd Duncan has talked about for years, and others. And I know you had, because I remember one time Dave interviewing you and asking, how many mortgage efficiency checkups do you have today? And you had like 15 booked or something. Like, you had a bunch booked that day, and you showed your calendar. And so I just see myself just having appointments all day long.
Yeah.
So getting to that point. I mean, I'm not there now, but getting to that point.
I think what's brilliant, and what the viewers really need to understand, is connecting the dots. I think what most excites me about your success, Walt, is I don't know if this is unfortunately my emotional challenges or what, but I always compared my insides to somebody else's outsides. So when I go to these like sales masteries and you see these people on stage doing this or that or that nature, I don't know, man, you're supposed to leave those seminars like totally pumped and excited. And I always left like, man, I am such a loser. I am so behind here. I'm so behind there. I'm so behind here. And I think what makes me so excited about your success is that you, instead of reinventing the wheel, you took the system, you implemented it, and it automatically helped you connect the dots. I guess the question I've got for you is just for me to kind of learn, what was not connected before when you're trying to do all this and you're struggling with it, to once you got the system, what helped connect the dots? Like what put it all together for you?
I think it was just, I have watched you for years work it flawlessly, and it works for you. And I would hear about that. So for me, I knew the system worked. I just didn't know how to get there.
Yeah.
So I think with the system, you've got videos and everything else. I mean, you've got what a mortgage efficiency checkup looks like. You've got the scripting of the emails and all of that. So it was seeing what you've put in place and seeing the simplicity of it. And I like the embedded commands that you have in the emails and in the scripting and the phone calls and everything. So again, it's something that I don't have to recreate. I don't have to think of. We went through the last several years, we went through our database, and we started creating pathways for clients. If they weren't buying today, if they're buying in a 2 year, a year from now, 2 years from now. And we tried to put a bunch of things together, and we're like, what do people really want? And when could they want it? And it took us a good couple of years to be able to do that. And videos that I've created and everything else. So for me, the connecting the dots was, I know the concept, and I know the concept works. I went to Loan Officer Productivity School learning the concept in 2000, 2001. I mean, it was, Todd Duncan, there were 20 of us in La Jolla, California, in San Diego. And so I knew the concept, but connecting it, for some reason, I always had a mind blank on the connection of it. So therefore, I always stayed working with realtors, and I'd worked with a couple attorneys or CPAs over the years, but I never knew really how to add value to them. And so just with all your scripts and everything, it just literally it connected it. I can't really explain it, but it connected it all for me.
It sounds like you knew what to say, you just didn't know how to say it. And it sounds like the scripts and the template, the email templates, the script templates, the video templates, the voice drop templates, and everything in there for all four of those, for the 7-day call, 30-day call, 6-month call, annual mortgage review, the mortgage efficiency checkup, and everything was broken down in detail. So like all you really need is a willing human to implement. And, I think it took me probably, I built the model back in like 2019 and struggled a ton with it, but we really started getting traction through COVID. Everybody was home and it really took off. But the ability to be able to have a system to be able to follow, and knowing exactly what to say, which is also a great book in itself, but the exactly what to say scripts of what to say on a 7-day call to be able to get them to want to pick up on the 30-day call. Exactly what to say. There you go. He's got such a great slogan. Exactly what to say. It's like in every conversation when I'm not even referencing the book, it reminds me of saying that. It's like saying the word why, like Start With Why by Simon Sinek. But anyway, but the ability to be able to have step-by-step process. So it's pretty neat to see that you can follow that process. There's a lot of loan officers out there that look up to you before even this call. And now they see that you're having success with it, and you're hanging out with referral partners that have 50 plus people in their data, 50 plus thousand people in their database. Like what's the next 5 years look like for Walt?
That's a great question. As I've mapped out the possibility here, the possibility in these databases to be able to close the amount of business that we could potentially close. I could see $200, $300, $400 million like that very, very simply, very easily. And I see massive growing pains happening, which again, I go back to, so many of my friends that, you guys have all been there. So I'll be knocking at your door saying, okay, what do I need to do? Who do I need to hire? How do I, once you get past kind of that 100 million, but anyway, more than the business, the one thing that always drove me crazy during COVID was, I talked to Savage about this a lot. We always mark ourselves by production, right? And so I always look at families. How many families can I help? Because the family is behind the production. And so how much money can we save somebody? And then how much wealth can we help to create for people? Just with the number one team, just their database alone, I could see us closing 500-600 transactions pretty quickly when we get ramped up here. And then the other database, now all of a sudden we're at 400 transactions, where I have truly said at this point, okay, we are working with 2 teams, and I've got a couple other agents that I'm working with, and that's it. I don't have time to work with anybody else.
You don't need to.
Right.
You don't need to. And I think that's where most loan officers really understand. I think Warren Buffett's got a great quote. He says, put all your eggs in one basket and watch the basket.
Yep.
If you put all your eggs in the database focus of it, and with those 2 realtors, and between both of them, there's 100,000 households in there, it's a huge opportunity. But that, I guess one thing that we're started to do roughly about 4 months ago, it's going to pay really great dividends down the road, is with our database. There's 28,000 households in our HomeBot, Sales Boomerang, Mortgage Coach, Bomb. So it's our database, 28,000. So we're marketing home equity line of credits to them right now. Home equity loans, not cash out loans, but it's home equity lines of credit and home improvement loans. The ability, where loan officers are like, well, what do you get paid basis points on that? Who cares? Yes, it's a small loan amount. Who cares? But guess what? It's a 9 or 11% interest rate. And guess what's going to happen when rates drop in 2025, 2026, and rates are back down at 4 or 5%? I'm automatically getting a refinance, combining the first lien and the second lien together, which is it's like going to be a gold mine. So understanding how to position yourself, and that's where I want to make sure that you have to understand focusing on database is a crock pot of success. It's not a microwave of success. And when you're building these modules and building these steps, you're in 2024, you're planning for 2025. In
Exactly.
2025, you're planning for 2027. And that's how you build a $100 million mortgage team, $200 million mortgage team, and so on from there, because you've got the compound effect. When we originated over $100 million of loans in 2019 to, if you fast forward to 2020, it was 150 million. 2021, it was 200 million. We didn't get better at our job. We didn't double in 2 years because we got verbally better. It was the compound effect that made business easier, and more business came at us easier because of our systems.
And I think that's exactly correct. And it's what we're doing is we're first getting the database together, and then we're going to start just sending out a message. The team lead, myself, sending out a message about the market, both the real estate market and then the mortgage market. And then we're going to send out on a weekly basis an evidence of success. So 1 week is going to be a realtor one, and then 2 weeks later is going to be mine. And then the third week, we're going to do an interview. So that interview is going to be, if you're a homeowner, it's going to be with a professional. So with a CPA, financial planner, whatever, it's going to be with a professional. And if you're not a homeowner, then it's going to be myself teaching on budgeting, on buying a home, on credit. There's multiple different things. And so we're going to be in front of that database every week with value add. And the whole idea is, again, just like you're saying, 2025, 2026, when rates are there, we'll be able to easily help them restructure their mortgages. But also what I'm really excited about is I honestly don't care about the leads I can get from the two teams right now. I want the leads.
Yeah.
I want transactions to close. We all need those in this market today. But what excites me the most is what I'm going to be able to give back to them with the help of their database, with the help of them, and what we're going to build together over the next 6 months or year, and really starting to create. And so, imagining the impact of lives that that we're going to have on people. It's just the coolest. I mean,
this last month alone, in February, we generated 17 referrals back to realtors that turned into listings. 17 referrals back that turned into listings. And to me, those are, where do we get those referrals that we referred back? HomeBot, and it was in the CMA request. And it's their past clients. It's relationships that they've had. This, unfortunately, they just have not stayed in a relationship with over the years. But we use HomeBot to be able to get a client to raise their hand, reach out and to have a conversation with them, then turn around and refer them back to their original realtor. And they think like we walk on water because we're putting money back in their pocket in listings. How many times do you think a realtor comes to me and asks me to sponsor an event? Zero. How many times do you think a realtor comes to me and asks me to pay $2,000 a month for their Zillow leads? Zero. We help them generate closings and listings directly from their own database. And I automatically get a loan out of it, versus if you go spend $2,000-$3,000 a month on Zillow leads with a realtor, like good luck getting your money back.
Well, and that's, I was reminded, so going back to Kelly Zitlow and last year, so I looked this up just the other day, and NAR states that 9% of realtors, and I'm going to guess the same things for lenders as well, but 9% of realtors are in constant contact with their past client database. So 9%. And Kelly, if I remember the stats, it was something like 86% or something like that. It was in the 80s, said that they would work with their realtor again, But when asked the question, where does your realtor work? And she got this statistic from the Stratmore group, it was like 75% didn't know where the realtor worked.
Yeah.
So it was just massive. So this is something, again, that we're able to help with in a way that, I mean, imagine going to a realtor and they're saying, okay, what do you got for me? Well, what's your database? Oh, it's 2,000 people, 2,000 people with past clients in Sphere and stuff. Okay. Well, according to Trust Engine and Sales Boomerang, 5% of those people are going to do a transaction this year. So can I help you gain 5% from there? And then also, another statistic is that and the numbers are coming in with the numbers that I'm seeing from you, is that between 10 to 15% of any given database needs a referral to a professional. So, and then, from there, I mean, you give 2 referrals to a CPA, you get 1 back. Pretty killer, right?
I mean, that's the whole model. It's like, I call it the 1-4-2, and it's, you get 1 referral from a realtor, you refer it out, 4 different referrals: CPA, financial advisor, family will attorney, insurance agent. And then at minimum, if you do that right, you do it consistently for the give and take mindset, you get 2 referrals back. I mean, we consistently refer out over 120 referrals out on a monthly basis, 120 referrals out on a monthly basis. And we consistently receive about 60 referrals a month back that we receive back from our referral partners on a monthly basis. That's how you're able to close 15 deals a month, 20 deals a month, 30 deals a month, 40 deals a month. And that's where the production really comes from, because of how much business we refer out. I remember I think it was back in like 2019 is when I first started tracking it. And it was like $250,000 worth of commissions that I referred out. Then it goes to 500, 600,000, goes to $1 million. And it's consistently, I'm referring out over $2 million in commissions. Well, guess what? I've got a blessed multi-million-dollar income myself because of the referrals I receive back, because I refer out so much. It's a great way to do business, and you're never going to see me buy cold leads. You're never going to see me do Zillow leads. It's just a cleaner, more efficient, but honestly, exactly what you said. It's more fun. It's more fun to do business this way, and you value your partners and they value you.
Yep.
So,
I mean, that's, last Friday, I'm sitting there and, again, number 1 agent here in my market in Salem, Oregon. I'm sitting down with them. As I'm leaving, one of the agents says, "You know what, Walt, I'm super excited about this partnership." And I was like, there it is.
yeah.
I mean, it is a partnership. It's not, it's not a vendor relationship. It's,
I hate that word. I hate it. I
Yep.
hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It makes my skin crawl when I hear it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So in closing, why don't you give us our closing thoughts? So if you're a loan officer out there that is hearing Walt's success, what do you want to tell them, Walt, so they can follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think just, believe that you can do it. Get the system, check it out, watch it, listen to it, internalize it. And I think just take some time. Business is tough in today's market. Take some time to really decide what 1 or 2 or 3 paths that you're going to go this year and knock out of the park. And I think this is a path that truly being able to help a realtor with their database, which, if NAR is correct, only 9% of agents out there have a database that they're working in, a database that they're visiting and that they're adding value. This is truly an untapped area that, when presented to the agent and the team, you can help in ways that other people can't. I mean, forget about the loan programs that you have. Forget about the special, silver bullet that you have or whatever. It goes, I mean, people enjoy people, and helping them with their database, helping them connect with their database, helping them grow, and then grow the circle of cash flow with affinity partners, is an untapped market. So
absolutely.
I don't know any other loan officers that are doing it.
Give me a couple more years. I'll hopefully spread the word a little bit.
Yep.
But
Yep.
well, good. Well, hey, Walt, I owe you a debt of gratitude, man. I think it's when you write a book or you build an academy, build a course. I've got this weird feeling in the back of my mind is anybody going to read it? Is anybody
Yep.
going to really like actually embrace it? Is anybody going to want to actually bring it to life and do something with it? And it means the world to me that you believed in it, you implemented it, you're having success, and most importantly, you're having fun. It meant the world to me when you said that you're having fun again. This business can eat you up and chew you and spit you out, but it's you've got to make it fun.
Hey, thanks, Wally. I appreciate it. It's an
bud.
honor to be here today with you as well. Thank you.
Thanks, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. So thank you so much for listening today. It means a lot you took time out of your day. I don't take that lightly. Understand very clearly that you're very busy. With that being said, if you want to continue your journey and learn more about 24/7 Mindset, if you're on Facebook, which I'm going to guess you are, then go to 24/7 Mindset on Facebook and join the private community. I do coaching tips on there on a daily basis, so from scripts on there to systems on there, models, and the ability to be able to grow and scale a business while you have a quality of life. Hope to see you there.